must commend the House for its legislative achievements, particularly in the passage of bills within the period of our stewardship. This is in addition to many other bills currently undergoing legislative process. This remarkable feat is unprecedented in the history of our legislature since the return of democratic governance in our dear state. All this should be viewed within the context of the renewed energy and focus we have brought into governance, driven by the momentum of the rescue mission agenda of my administration. In preparing the 2025 budget, we have carefully considered the emerging realities of our time, particularly the economic trends at the state, national, as well as international levels. As we know, the year 2024 had brought mixed blessings for resources-dependent economies. While the price of oil remained optimal until August 2024, it fell below $80 per barrel from September onwards. On the other hand, policies aimed at reinvigorating the economy, such as removal of the oil subsidy and the floating of the naira, have caused immense hardship across the country. In the light of these economic realities, it is therefore imperative that we adopt a more pragmatic approach to managing our state's finances. It is evident that we must navigate these turbulent times with resilience and strategic foresight to ensure that our policies address immediate challenges and establish a foundation for long-term prosperity. To this end, my administration has prioritized enhancing fiscal discipline, promoting economic diversification, and investing in critical infrastructure. These measures are carefully designed to cultivate a more robust economic environment which is capable of withstanding external pressures and driving sustainable growth. With this mission in mind and considering the multitude of challenges confronting the state, which have hindered efforts to achieve an appreciable level of development since creation 28 years ago, we have taken bold initiative to sustainability, improve the state's revenue profile, and address the anomaly of allocating greater proportion of our annual budget to recurrent expenditures. In the 2024 budget, we allocated 27% to recurrent expenditure and 73% to capital expenditure. Over the past 18 months, we have achieved remarkable feat in internally generated revenue growth by 240.44%, which elevated the ranking of our state from 36 to 26 in Nigerian internal revenue generation standing. This is a testament to a rigorous revenue generation drive and strategic measures to block revenue leakages implemented by this administration. We have demonstrated our unwavering commitment to financial sustainability through enhanced and expansion of revenue sources. While this achievement is commendable, it is crucial to note that the increase in relative terms rather than absolute. We will ensure that revenue generation MDAs redouble their effort by thoroughly expanding all potential sources as well as maximizing opportunities. In order to process the economic development and secure brighter future for our people, we have embarked on transformative project with significant potential to strengthen the state financial standing. A notable example is the Gusau International Airport. Awarded by this administration to align with our strategic vision. We are advancing critical infrastructure projects in areas of roads, healthcare, agriculture, rural development, as well as education, where we have serious disadvantage. The initiatives are carefully designed, all this to build a very, very resilient economy. We have sustained the culture of reforms in the public sector, which we initiated shortly after assumption of office. And these reforms are aimed at improving efficiency, reducing waste, and ensuring that effective utilization of public resources. A key aspect of this reform is the digitalization of government services. Notable examples include the digitalization of the Executive Council chambers, land registry, as well as revenue generation collection system. We have introduced performance-based budgeting and strengthened financial oversight mechanism. Budgets are no longer annual rituals that were often not adhered to. Instead, they are strategic tools for achieving developmental goals. Our mission is to build a transparent and accountable governance framework that inspires public trust and drive socio-economic development. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, the 2025 budget proposal has been meticulously crafted to reflect our aspirations for a prosperous Zamfara state. Like the 2024 budget, it prioritizes capital expenditure over recurrent costs, ensures equitable distribution of resources, and lays a solid foundation for sustainable development. With the collective effort of all stakeholders, I'm confident that we can overcome our challenges and achieve the transformative growth that Zamfara State deserves. Some of the key highlights, achievement recorded in 2024. Number one, we look at the health sector. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, on assumption of office, we identified the need for complete overhaul of the health sector, given the decay infrastructure and poor system. The provision of quality healthcare, one of our 6 priority areas. We intended, or we rather initiated, the reconstruction, renovation, and upgrading of primary, secondary, and tertiary healthcare facilities across the state. The primary healthcare center in Nasarawa Burkolu was renovated and upgraded to a general hospital. And you're all witness to the state-of-the-art equipment that are in that hospital. Number 2, renovation and equipping of the general hospital in Maru, Maradun, Aulanamoda, and Gusau have been completed, while the construction of a new general hospital in Talata Mafara is ongoing, and inshallah we will deliver as we promise. The renovation, remodeling, and supply of medical equipment to Ahmed Sani Yariman Bakura Specialist Hospital, Gusau, has reached an advanced stage. And it is a hospital that we will all be proud of. And in the nearest future, by the grace of Allah, we don't need to go to Sokoto, Katsina, Zaria, or Kaduna seeking for medical attention. We have it here. Construction of additional block of classrooms, exam halls, and general renovation of College of Health Sciences and Technology in Zafi. And the essence is, while we're busy doing reconstruction, supplying all the necessary equipment, we also need to build manpower. It's key. Without manpower, the hospital will be of no value to us. Education sector. In 2024, we declared state of emergency in the education sector to completely overhaul the sector in order to address problems: out of school children decay of infrastructure, inadequate and unqualified teaching personnel, among other things. And in this regard, A, contracts were awarded for the construction, renovation, and furnishing of primary and secondary schools across the state. I'm happy to say that we have so far done over 350 primary schools across the state. The government paid the sum of 3.34 billion as a counterpart fund for the Adolescent Girls Initiative for Learning and Empowerment project called Agile, which benefits 114 girls' schools across the state. This is with the aim of reducing gender disparities in education. Other achievement includes resumption of work and construction of the Zamfara State University, Zamfara, which was abandoned over 4 years ago. You're all aware, one of the disadvantages that we have is the fact that it's only in Zamfara that we have very few universities. And therefore, we must make conscious effort to make sure we reach that gap. Total renovation of Zamfara College of Arts and Social Sciences, ZACAS, which is in Muso. By the time you go into ZACAS, you will see exactly the efforts government has made and is still making to make it an institution of learning, which form the basic foundation for entrance into universities. Payment of 2023 and 2024 WAEC as well as NACO fees. They were cleared, and thank God now our children can comfortably go to schools for those who want to further their education and for those who want to seek for work. I'm happy to say that as a result, we have serious number of recruited Zamfara indigents into police, military, and so on and so forth. The Angaya School project in Gumi, we saw an Karana Moda with the aim of mainstreaming Islamic as well as Western education system in our state. Haven't realized the challenges we're having, so there's a need to have a hybrid of Islamic as well as Western education. Infrastructure. Significant progress has been made in the construction and rehabilitation of roads and other infrastructure. Key projects completed include: number one, reconstruction of roads linking Bello-Bara roundabout, various points including the Central Police Station, Government House, as well as the Old Market. 2. Construction of Alhabungudu Birnura Road, rehabilitation of road in Gusau GRA, including General Ali Road and the ring roads around the GRA. Other ongoing projects include the completion of township roads and various other infrastructure improvements across the state. Very soon, within the couple of weeks, we're also going to commission the Bukuim roads that is leading to Nasarawa. Is almost 80% done, and very soon we'll invite you for the commissioning of that project and many other projects that are completed that we have not commissioned. NG Cares program. Under the NG Care initiative, achievements include disbursement of 15.6 billion for 1,420 community micro projects and 37 government mega projects in healthcare, education, water, as well as sanitation. Support for 1,500 vulnerable people with 180,000 each, and disbursement of 724 million to unemployed youth, widows, and small-scale businesses. It is an ongoing process, and we're going to have a formal launching of this program sometimes next week, which covers all the 14 local government, inshallah. The government has also supported 10,000 small and medium enterprise with 50,000 naira each. Is also an ongoing process. The reason why it was not widely circulated because we had to wait to include the new chairman of our 14 local government because they need to play a role. Like you rightly said, development is at the grassroots level. So local governments play a key role in that aspect. So the chairmen are included in this cycle of cash that will be given to the needy across our 14 local government. Agriculture. Effort to enhance food security have focused on supply of 50,000 bags of fertilizer, rehabilitation of 147 kilometers of rural roads, upgrading 40 wet markets across the state. I'm sure you're a representative of our people. You know the projects that are ongoing in your respective local government. General administration. The government has paid gratuities to so far 2,666 pensioners, totaling over 10.4 billion out of the 13 billion owed by previous administration. Inshallah, we intend to clear all the backlogs within the, at least out of 13 billion, we have paid 10.4 billion, so the balance is so little. Sustain the payment of salaries, pensions, and gratuities for states as well as local government staff. Sustain the monthly release of cash allocation to certain MDAs for effective discharge of their routine work. It is something that is in place, and we'll continue to maintain that and follow to make sure the right things are done. 2025 budget proposal. The policy thrust of the 2025 budget is rooted in a commitment to accountability, transparency, and efficiency. Key policy initiatives include the establishment of emergency funds for health and education. These are two critical areas that must be given priority. Health, education. Key policies include the establishment of emergency fund for health and education, the introduction of digital budget information system, and monthly performance reviews to monitor and evaluate budget execution. These measures are designed to streamline process, enhance oversight, and ensure that allocated resources yield maximum impact. Furthermore, the budget prioritizes key sectors integral into our development agenda: security, education, healthcare, agriculture, infrastructure, and economic growth. We focus on these areas with the aim of addressing immediate needs while building resilience against future economic uncertainties. You all know the uncertainties we are living today because of fiscal as well as monetary policies and the major economic challenges. And therefore, we need to be ready for that, for the rainy day. A noteworthy shift in the budget is the reallocation of major capital expenditure responsibilities to specialized agencies to improve efficiency as well as accountability. For instance, the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure will oversee fixed asset projects. The 2025 budget proposal takes into account the increase in minimum wage from 30,000 naira to 70,000 naira for civil servants and new sources of revenue to fund our budget. You're all aware, before we took over, the minimum wage in Zamfara State was 7,000 naira. Minimum wage was never implemented prior to this administration, and we made conscious efforts to increase that minimum wage from 7,000 naira to 30,000 naira without consulting anybody, without consulting labor union. We did that. Nonetheless, the proposed budget maintains this administration practice of ensuring that recurrent expenditure account for as low sum as 28% of the total budget, while capital expenditure is allocated 72%, which is in line with our commitment to prioritizing development. Mr. Speaker, let me also emphasize our goal of achieving a prosperous Zamfara State by addressing unforeseen incidences in key sectors. To this end, the 2025 proposed budget introduces 3 critical emergency funds. 1, education emergency funds. 2, health emergency funds. And 3, humanitarian emergency funds. The Honorable House may recall that I declared a state of emergency on health and education earlier in 2024. As a result, we intend to have budgetary provisions readily available round the clock for emergencies in these vital areas. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, in line with the economic uncertainties in the country, we recognize the need to focus capital expenditure on assets that brings value in the short term to increase the state's internally generated revenue. To achieve this, a capital investment fund will also be established. As we present this budget proposal, it is imperative to reflect on the major strides made by these administrations since the passage of the first budget in December 2023. The progress achieved in transforming critical sectors such as education, healthcare, infrastructure, and security has not only laid the foundation for a more prosperous Zamfara State, but has also demonstrated our resolute commitment to the rescue agenda. Today, I'm proud to report that we have made measurable progress in the revitalization of our health system, improved access to education, substantial increase in internally generated revenue, and resurgence in state infrastructure projects. However, as we acknowledge this achievement, we must remain steadfast in addressing the challenges that persist. Our focus on channeling capital expenditure toward assets that greater short-term value will further strengthen our state's financial standing. With these measures, coupled with collaborative approach between the executive and legislative arms, I'm confident that we will continue to deliver on the promise of prosperity security, and development for the people of Zamfara State. Highlight of the 2025 budget. The 2025 budget is crafted with careful consideration of the prevailing economic realities in order to ensure that our priorities align with the aspiration of our people and transformative goal of this administration. The revenue projection for the 2025 are grounded in economic indices as well as strategic reforms. Recurring revenue is projected as 256,014,575 billion naira, while capital revenue stand at 289 billion naira. This relatively huge revenue focus underscores the commitment of our administration to enhance fiscal capacity through improved internal revenue generation as well as prudent financial management. The expenditure framework is designed to ensure judicious allocation of resources. The 2025 budget estimate covers a total of 545,014,575 billion for both recurrent and capital expenditures. The recurrent expenditure amount to 151,680 billion, which is 28% of the total expenditure. Which is 20% of the total expenditure and will essentially cover personnel costs, including the 70,000 minimum wage increment, pensions, gratuities, as well as provision of new employees. You all agree with me that within the last couple of years, there was never any meaningful employment. And remember, we send our children to school, they graduate, and they come back and they're idle. That is an unfair system. This is not what we went through. This is not what we inherited. And therefore, things must change. Consideration must be given to our young graduates. Additionally, other recurrent costs and debt servicings are prioritized to maintain the smooth functioning of government operations. On the other hand, capital expenditure, which account for 72% of the budget, is 393 billion 334 575. Sectoral allocation of the proposed budget. Out of the total estimate of 112,855,094.440 billion, representing 20.7%, is earmarked for administration sector. This sector covers areas such as religious affairs, information and culture, internal security and home affairs, assembly matters, civil service, cabinet affairs, and general services. The economic sector, which comprises agriculture, commerce, industry and tourism, infrastructure, housing and urban development, budget and planning, and finance, will receive the sum of 253 239,622 billion, representing 46.46% of the total budget. The social sector comprises education, health, youth and sport development, women and social development, environment and natural resources, the sum of 170 billion 164,395,560, representing 31.22%, is set aside for this sector. Education and health, being the most critical component of the sector, received the highest allocation of 14.62% and 11.77%, respectively. The law and justice sector is allocated the sum of 8,755,460 million. Some of the major capital projects to be executed in the year 2025, inshallah. Mr. Speaker, honorable members, distinguished personalities, having reflected on the 2024 as a year of prosperity and challenges for our dear state, I would like to mention some of the major projects that we intend to execute in the year 2025 in continuation of our transformative agenda of building a new Zamfara state. These projects include completion of Gusau International Airport. If you go there, you will see the significant progress we are making to make sure we deliver as promised. Number two, in addition to the completion of the airport project, we intend to provide a dual carriageway access road to the airport, which will start from the runabout all the way to the airport and maybe even beyond. In our bid to open up Zamfara State for more economic activities, we will construct a new ultra-modern central motor park in the state capital. We are all aware of the situation of our historic Gusau old market that was built in 1958, which requires serious attention to make it more befitting for businesses. Within the year 2025, we plan to modernize the market, inshallah. Adequate provision has been made in the budget to cater for the project. We also intend to complete the renovation, remodeling, and equipping of the Yarima Bakura Specialist Hospital, Gusau, and General Hospital Talatin Mafra in the year 2025. The same thing in the health sector. There is a legacy project that was started by previous administration. I think it was during under Mahmoud Shinkafi, His Excellency. They are all aware of the Shinkafi General Hospital. Inshallah, under my administration, we will complete that hospital. Ample provision of procurement for security equipment is also made. You know the challenges we are facing in the area of insecurity, which is our number one priority. We'll continue to make provision to make sure our state is secure. Our security chiefs are here, and they know the efforts we are making and also the effort they are making in order for everyone to sleep comfortably in this state, and inshallah it will happen. Establishment of modern diagnostic centers rural electrification in various communities, upgrade and modernization of Gusau water treatment plant, construction of Zamfara State Sports Complex, establishment of Teachers Training Institute, supply of medical equipment for various hospitals in the state, as well as provision of boreholes in rural areas. Youth empowerment and skill acquisition programs, modernization of state secretariat complex, rehabilitation of government schools across the state, improvement in agricultural mechanization. Of course, we all know our motto in Zamfara, farming is our pride, and therefore we should use that comparative advantage to mechanize agricultural sector. Once we're able to do that, believe me, it will go a long way in solving most of the problems we're facing, including the rural area. Ordinary man doesn't need all these things. Just allow him to go to farm and cultivate his land and harvest his stuff. He's comfortable. He's not asking for much. Digital transformation and ICT development initiative. And this is key in streamlined process, making things much easier for everyone, where you can work from wherever you are. This administration is also set to undertake the following road project within the fiscal year, inshallah. Construction of 105-kilometer road from Gusau to Ansado. It has started, but we intend to complete it. Rehabilitation of Gusau metropolitan roads. Why am I saying Gusau? Gusau is our capital. Any visitor that is coming from anywhere, his first impression of the capital will be the general impression of the state. And remember, not all local governments need roads. Typical example, I went to Bakura. I went around all the 40 local governments. In some, the roads are there, but what they do, they're using that to just maybe keep their animals or dry their foodstuffs. So, for example, there are other local governments. So Bakura doesn't need roads. Bakura needs schools. Bakura needs hospitals. Bakura needs water. That is why we are concentrating on that. We have gone around to see. So for those people that think we're just doing road for Gusau, yes, there's a reason, because it's a capital, and we need it here. In some local government, we don't need it. Construction of rural roads and drainages across the state. Construction of 5-kilometer road at Ungwargwaza Housing Estate. Construction of road from Abu Magaji Bridge to Zampo with the spur of Darul Hadith School. Construction of road from Amazuma Filling Station opposite Prince International School to UBA Training Center. Construction of road from Tudun Wada Juma Mosque to Fantablos School with the spur linking Sadiq Road to MS Lodge. Reconstruction of road linking Daza Gidandawa to Sokoto Road. Reconstruction of Ofra Denge to Anchor Road. Reconstruction of Premier Road to Sadiq Road. Construction of Amarike Kanoma Road. Completion of the 23-kilometer road project Malama Zarume Bukwim with the spur of Masa Marmudi. Construction of road linking Damri, Ajawargi, Dako, Rafingero, Barayar Zaki, and Nassau Burkolu. Reconstruction of 14-kilometer Lalan to Lalan road in Gusau. Completion of the road connecting Emirs Palace Junction to Tankilua Runabout, and from Nasiha Chemist Runabout to Central Police Station Runabout. Construction of 94.85-kilometer road linking Endo Tandaji, Doka, Enwar and Daji Hayin Alhaji, Bedi, Enkuzo, and Safe. Construction of a 50-kilometer road from Gusau to Jauri, to Dogon Kade, to Nasra Melai, to Nasarawa Godel. Construction of 126 road from Magami to Angulbi, to Ankurmi, to Bagega, to Anka. Construction of Gwali Bridge. Construction of the road from Bukwim to Birnin Zoma, to Gumi. Construction of 19-kilometer roads from Mabera to Badarawa, to Kware, to Kuria, and Tungarkado. Construction of the road linking Maradun to Makera. Construction of road linking Maradun to Magami to Faru. Construction of road linking Maru with Liga for 2 billion naira. Construction of road linking Zurmi to Rukudawa. Construction of Kaya Road. These initiatives are in line with the unwavering commitment of my administration to delivering the much needed infrastructure to facilitate and ease business activities, open up our communities to broader development opportunities, and strengthen our effort in combating banditry and other forms of criminality. The State government under the NGKS program proposes to finance the implementation of 682 micro projects in local government communities of state at a total cost of about 5.1 billion naira. This is in addition to 50 special government mega projects across the state at a total cost of 30 billion. You are aware of that money that we got. That has been an issue where other states are complaining. Alhamdulillah, we got that money, and we are going to use that money judiciously. This administration also intends to support 5,000 vulnerable people under the Department of Social Transfer of the CSDA with the sum of 10,000 each per month for 12 months. A total of 600 unemployed youth under the labor-intensive Public Works Department of Agency will benefit the sum of 20,000 each per month for 12 months. And the Livelihoods Grant Department at a total of 8,000 small businesses will be supported with the sum of 150,000 each to enhance commerce and trade in the state in the year 2025. We have small businesses, May Kosei, May Waina, May Pachi, and the rest of them. So we're going to support them, inshallah. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I wish to reiterate the unwavering commitment of my administration to the principle of accountability, transparency, and sustainable development. The 2025 budget proposal I'm presenting today represents a roadmap for addressing the pressing needs of our dear state. It is a vision for the future of Zamfara. It's also a testament to our resolve to transform challenges into opportunities and deliver a more prosperous, secure state for our people. Finally, Mr. Speaker, honorable members, it is my honor and privilege to present before this honorable House the sum of 575 billion as for the 2025 fiscal year for your consideration and passage. This estimate represents 151,680 billion for recurrent expenditure and 334, 575 for capital expenditure. On this note, I wish to use this opportunity to crave the indulgence of this Honorable House to support the aspiration captured in this budget. As a family, we should work diligently together to ensure that the strategic objectives outlined are realized for the betterment of our dear state. Our collective effort will no doubt be instrumental in driving the transformative changes needed to uplift our communities and improve the quality of life of our people. May Almighty Allah guide our effort and bless Zamfara State abundantly. Thank you. Wassalamu alaikum.
It is with great pleasure that we welcome His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, to this chamber in fulfillment of the constitutional mandate of the annual budget presentation. This annual event shares in the opportunity for both the executive and the legislative arms of government to interact and agree on government projection on revenue generation and the expenditure for the subsequent year, which are key to developing the social, political, and economic activities of the state. Distinguished personalities, it is gladdening my heart to note that the medium budget of this administration, tax rescue budget, presented in 2023 has laid a solid foundation for restoring the state's economic and the political terrain, thereby building a new Zamfara state within the challenging takeoff period. The brightest part of the precious experience is that it refers for a monumental legacy by which posterity judges our good stewardship in governance, economy, and the infrastructural development under the leadership of His Excellency Governor Dauda Lawal. We, the legislators, through oversight, saw a very good direction of this administration toward urban renewal, civil service reform, provision of social amenities, and the protection of lives and properties of the citizen to have a life dignity.
Mr. Speaker! Mr. Speaker!